Ashton. I'm a co-founder here at Glide, and today we're going to walk through the process of generating completed documents in zipForm. So this process began when we invited our client to fill out a form using Glide. Then they provided answers to all the required questions online and submitted those responses to us for review. So at this point, I'm going to receive an email notification that looks like this, telling me that my client has submitted a disclosure form for my review. And at this point, I'll click on the button that says Generate PDFs. And I'm going to enter what we call the review experience. So here I'm just going to go through a few simple steps. First, I'm going to just review the information that I provided when I sent out these forms, including the legal name of the seller. And since I selected a transfer disclosure statement, I also had the opportunity to specify whether I'm going to attach a visual inspection disclosure form or how I'm going to complete my visual disclosure. So here I can see that my client has submitted the TDS with one flagged question. If I click review, I can clearly see which question they flagged, and I can also see the responses to all of the other questions on the TDS. So this would be a good time to have a conversation with my client if needed, to discuss any questions that they have, and to review the form for completeness and ensure that everything makes sense before we continue. So assuming that everything looks good, I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And if I needed my client to make changes, they can always log into glide.com, hit edit, and resubmit their responses for my review. So I can go through this process multiple times. Now, in order to generate my final completed documents, I need to make sure I link a valid zipForm Plus account. So here I have one listed for my email address. And if I hit sign in, then it's going to ask me to sign in to zipForm Plus to link my account. And if I've done this before, then our system will remember that, so you don't have to do this every time. So when I hit sign into zipForm Plus, it's important to note I have two options here. I can use my CAR credentials or my zipForm Plus credentials. And depending on which type of zipForm account, you'll want to make the correct selection here. All right, so my account's successfully been linked. And at this point, I have the opportunity to specify whether I want to generate documents in an existing zipForm transaction or create a new one. So in this case, I'm going to say existing zipForm transaction because I've already created a transaction for 321 Main Street. So here I see a list of all of my active transactions in zipForm, and I'm going to select 321 Main Street. And it's going to let me know that I'm making an update to the previous version of the transfer disclosure statement that I had already generated inside of my zipForm account. So at this point, we're taking all of the data that we collected in Glide, we're passing it on to zipForm, and that data is going to be mapped onto a copy of the actual form. And here I have three options. Now that I'm done, I can download my completed form. I can send it for signature using DocuSign, and we will automatically place signature tabs in the correct location. Or I can go directly into my zipForm Plus transaction to see my completed document. So for right now, I'm going to click download. And here I can see my form is fully filled out. So text-based responses where they fit are provided directly in the correct location on the form. All of the checkboxes are neatly aligned. And any long form text answers are added via text overflow addendum. So here's an example of some longer form answers that didn't fit on the first page of the form. And finally, if my client attached any documents to their submission, those attachments are going to be indexed and listed here. And then they're going to be attached in full at the end of the PDF document. So at this point, I'm pretty much done, but I can always see the full history of this form packet. I can download completed documents from Glide and continue to administer this form packet, which is going to be saved for me in Glide indefinitely.